Hello everybody, welcome back to It's Current Year for a Ent Ladder replay today. Up against Bowmore, I am playing the Warriors of Chaos, he's playing Lizardmen. Two kind of interesting matches. There's some different elements in both our forces. It was played a while ago. This is my last Steam nickname, so you can tell it's kind of an old replay that I've been sitting on for a little while. But yeah, Ent Ladder game against Bowmore, really cool dude, and we had a fun little series a few weeks ago. So for Bowmore's forces, 4 units of javelins are backing up a number of Saurus warriors with shields, as well as some Temple Guard holding down the center here. We've got some skink cohorts out the back here just for some sort of fast flanking and basically just a bit of a roadblock. We've got the cohort of Sotek, ROR, red-crested skink here, obviously with their unbreakable and stand on two angry to die or whatever. And then we have a number of units of feral cold ones, which I actually don't mind in this matchup because chariots can be quite common. They're very cheap mass. They have some decent hitting power. Obviously they rampage at the drop of a hat, but yeah, they're a nice little sort of cheap mass tool. We have a unit of Salamander hunting packs, which are also quite nice for shooting down and returning fire at skeleton horsemen, marauder horsemen, but also just doing some burst damage into the front line. They're also good at killing stuff like manticores. We've got a troglodyte, a feral troglodyte, so basically the ranged version of a carnosaur. And I'll put my hand up and admit that until the late portion of this game, I actually thought this was a feral carnosaur. So yeah, great missile strength, big potential for missile damage there, and yeah, a dangerous combatant once it does have to fight, but obviously not to the degree a Carnosaur is, but still dangerous in the front line. We have a solar engine over this side, and leading the force on his toilet seat we have Lord Mazdamundi. Here he is. Look at him. Look at that head. Look at that headgear. So he's coming in with his Ruination of Cities and Banishment as the passives. We've got the Apotheosis, Harmonic Convergence, and Net, as well as Shield of the Old One. So pretty self-explanatory, pretty much the standard kit there for Toilet Seat Mazda. So for my forces, Warriors of Chaos, 4 units of Marauders out the front, pretty cheap, but they do their job here. They ward off, skink jabs and that kind of thing. 3 units of Chaos Warriors with great weapons. They'll trade quite well into Saurus Warriors. They trade okay into Saurus Warriors, but okay into Temple Guard rather, but they will beat Saurus Warriors. We've got 2 units of Chaos Knights with Lancers on each sort of flank. I really like Chaos Knights with Lancers in this matchup. I think it's probably one of their better ones. They have insane burst damage, and they synergize quite nicely with Sartorial, who I've taken here with Plague of Rust on stuff like Temple Guard and even just Saurus Warriors, stuff like that. They charge around. They don't really care about blowpipes or jabs too much. We've got a Chariot down here, just had some leftover funds, so that's going to help run some laps through the front line, and obviously the standard contingent of mobile fast cav or skirmish cav and hounds here, both just regular hounds, and these are just regular horsemen. Sometimes horsemasters are the go, but I think I just wanted more horsemen here because, like I said, again, synergize well with Sartorial and Plague of Rust. So Sartorial is running Plague of Rust, Scroll of Power, Final Transmutation, as well as Arcane Conduit and Stand or Die. So the front lines are going to meet. Troglodon's coming up to probably shoot some shots into Sartorial. I mean, Sartorial has good missile resistance, but it's still a good target. It's still not a bad target. I mean, that's pretty decent damage, even with the missile resistance. So you've got to use the ammo, and really, aside from Sartorial, probably the only other really good target for him at the moment are the Chariots, which he can probably kill models of. Taking some fire here, unfortunately, from the Salamander hunting pack, but not too bad. We probably lost a couple of models. Yeah, we did. We lost a couple of models there, but the Knights are just waiting for a clean charge. Sartorial is going to hold back just so we can push the Troglodon back into the lines. I'm fine with Troglodon obviously using ammo on stuff like my Chaos Marauders and things like this. Oh, actually, the Chaos Knights are a good target for him as well, because he'll probably kill a few unit models with each shot. So yeah, Chariots coming into the flank here, actually stopping the Javelins from firing really any of their ammunition, and the Marauders are going to press home now. Skin Cohort's going to jump in, but good response from Bowmore with the Feral Cold Ones. It's good use of their mass and their AP, like I said, so I'll need to drag them back. Chaos Warriors getting the charge in on the Saurus Warriors over here, and I think this is a Final Transmutation going down and getting some really nice value. Salamander Hunting Pack will probably rampage because of this. Skin Cohort's not really worth Final Transmutating, but the Feral Troglodon just doing a bit of bodyguard into Lord Mazdamundi is kind of just sitting in the aura at the moment, and has been rampage, which is really good for me because in combat they're much less effective than at range. Frontline has kind of collapsed for Bowmore, and unfortunately I'm being a little bit slack with these Chaos Knights, who are probably going to get banished. Likewise, these Marauder Horsemen. I have charged in with some Hounds and some Horsemen here, but these Skinks, you know, doing their bit, fighting. We will see a nice Net and Ruination combo, which is a very commonly seen combo from Lord Mazdamundi. The Solar Engine has been forced back to pull out from the main line, and we're now just trying to disrupt these jabs as much as we can while the Frontline Fight sort of cuts through. Now, the Chaos Chariots have been doing a few laps in here. They're very healthy. Obviously, very poor mass on stuff like Skink Javelins. I will rotate these Chaos Warhounds away just to get on the Solar Engine. Actually, I think I'm going for Mazdamundi just to try and pressure him. He's not a great combatant, doesn't have a lot of armor, but has high has high melee defense actually. So, you know, Hounds can maybe do a bit of nipping away. But over here we've got the Salamander hunting packs. They've pulled right out the back here, and they're very isolated. And I'm just sending the Marauder Horsemen now into combat mode. They are going to get probably Last Samurai down by the flaming saliva of the Salamanders, but I do see this with another unit of Marauder Horsemen. But you'll see here a very nice play by Bowmore. He sees this and does net down my Marauder Horsemen. They're going to be, I think they're in range to shoot. Maybe just in range to shoot some javelins, but now the Solar Engines turn into fight, and these Salamander hunting packs with an Apotheosis going down are going to get a really nice target. So 2 units of Horsemen being cleaned up there in the back line, having tried to finish off the Salamanders. So Hounds coming back in, making sure these Saurus Warriors, they're pretty beaten up, so basically they're just on cleanup duty now, making sure these Saurus Warriors don't come back to the fight. Pulling out and trying to do as much cycle charging as I can. My infantry's pretty tattered, but they've won the frontline fight. Troglodon's obviously used a bit of its ammo and does have, obviously, Sartorial in its sights now. I did take the Scroll of Power whilst Arcane Conduit was active, so that's pretty naughty. He should be getting involved somewhere now. He should probably actually just go up and try and pressure the Feral Troglodon in combat, just to stop it from shooting, basically. But there's plenty of other options. Like I said, Chaos Knights are here. They're doing some cycle charging on Mazda. Final Transmutation here. It's not an overcast version, but it is doing a fair bit of damage to... I did do a fair bit of damage to Lord Mazdamundi and the Solar Engine. And we're sort of on cleanup duty now. The frontline fight's gone well for us. We've got some Chaos Warriors in here just providing their armor piercing. And I'm kind of deliberately not engaging with all my infantry at once. We do cop a bit of a banishment here, which is not very nice. But Mazdamundi and the Feral Troglodon kind of just getting surrounded at this stage and can be worn down by cycle charging. That's a really nice... That's some really nice RNG on the ruination of cities there. But we've got some ammo raining in from the Marauder Horsemen. We've got Marauders and Knights just bouncing around, ping-ponging, not letting any of this infantry get back to relieve the single entities. The Solar Engine has been hacked down by these Chaos Warriors, and I will be peeling off, I believe, a unit of Horsemen now, just to ensure that it doesn't come back, because it does have a fair bit of ammo left. And Chaos Warriors here just probably still have their attack command on these Skink cohorts. So, yeah, it's looking pretty good for me at this stage. The Knights are very tattered. At least this unit is. We still have a decent amount of unit models here, 27 unit models. So we are going to sort of hit the end game here. Sartorial is around and about somewhere. There he is. He's just fighting Mazda, so it's a demon versus you know, the oldest Slan currently alive. And this is the point where I realised that this wasn't actually a Feral Carnosaur. I'm running him away from the Troglodon here, thinking, oh, this is a Feral Carnosaur, and then I look again and I realise that, oh no, hang on, I probably am okay to just sit in combat with it. But Solar Engine's not going to be coming back. I mean, this is just a big grind fight, so we can probably put this on a bit of a fast play now. Mazdamundi and the Troglodon might be able to get some terror outs, but Mazdamundi's just going to get ground down. Sartorial's going to come in, land one last hit, and that is going to be army losses. So well scrapped by Bowmore. It was a game that sort of looked fairly good throughout for me, but yeah, I'm surprised how well actually the Troglodon sort of just held in that fight. Like I said, they're not bad combatants. I mean, they're not Carnosaurs, but yeah, they have their anti-large and their damage wrapped up in their missile attacks. So the fact that the front line folded quite quick and we were able to get in without really the jabs being able to use a lot of their ammunition. We managed to get the Temple Guard and the Saurus Warriors off quite effectively. And even just, you know, the cohort of Sotek, obviously they'll fight to the last, but, you know, with any decent amount of mass, particularly on stuff like Chaos Knights, one of them struggled, but one of them's done quite well. The Chariot's got not a lot of value, but has just disrupted the infantry and obviously stopped allowed us to get a charge on one unit without them using too much ammo because they were in combat. And then our mobile elements have just sort of patrolled around and not allowed anything to come back and really relieve the single entities. Some nice Salamander played by Bowmore for sure. Obviously we saw that net going down just to keep them online and squeeze as much value out of them as I can. But they obviously rampage really, really easily. So the fact that they stood in the aura of that final transmutation for as long as they did definitely didn't help them. But yeah, great value on the Troglodyte. Some good ruinations on Mazdamundi. When you don't take him on Zlak, he's actually not all that expensive. And he's pretty tanky. Between his, Shield of the Old Ones, the fact that he's got a decent HP pool and decent melee defense, he can take a bit of a beating. So 1500's, a pretty good return for him when you consider all the, the other elements that don't show up in end screen value like nets and apotheosis. So Sartorial got obviously one reasonably good final transmutation off, and then another undercast one in the end game. The Knights, a mixed bag, but like I said, I like them here. I think they've got a lot of good targets. You just got to keep them moving. Frontline's done reasonably well. Obviously, the Marauders took the brunt of the damage up front, and then the Chaos Warriors with great weapons are very, very cost effective in this matchup. And then mobile elements were just able to sort of pick off some scraps where they pleased. Hounds, like I said, if you can get hounds onto hunting packs, they'll kill them really, really quickly because these guys are really, really squishy. So yeah, fun game. This was an Ent Ladder game that was played obviously a while ago now, because that hasn't been my Steam name for a while. But yeah, fun one to Bowmore, who's a stand-up guy. Obviously does a lot of good work with the community with Ent Ladder, and hopefully that can continue into game 3 and can be a contributing member of the Warhammer community. So thanks for checking the game out. We'll be back with more soon. And until then, take care.